You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
Birdie, birdie, birdie. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV. We're brought to you by Bing, where Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another live Monday Night Raw After Show recap for the week of March 4th, 2012, from the First Niagara Center in Buffalo, New York. Raw's going old school, and so are we, buzzing after Raw's old school on AfterBuzz TV. Welcome to the crew. I got my tag teams of broadcast brilliance starting off right across as we get entrance music hit. My man in the first spot, the music comes through. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host in spot #1, Ryan Cactus Foley Clum.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Wow. Wow, he's got the voice and everything.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I mean, you decided to go with Foley.
I put a little bit of weight on here.
I mean, Foley, one of my all-time favorites in this year's 2013 class for the Hall of Fame. You went with a good choice, Mr. Clum.
And somebody who kind of goes a couple different eras in the old school, kind of when I grew up watching it. More WCW, but then became you did Matt Cactus Jack.
Yeah, I mean, even WCW wasn't his thing. I mean, it really was WWE that made him a superstar. It made him the
star in the Mankind thing, but, you know, he was Cactus Jack earlier in his career and revived it a little bit in the WWE. So I'm kind of a hodgepodge of the two.
I'm digging it.
Got I guess the Cactus Jack hair going. I couldn't find the Cactus Jack shirt. So.
It's all right, man. It's close enough. You made the effort. We don't have the budget to go authenticity for these costumes. But at the same time, I look to your side, and this man right here is looking pretty authentic himself with his can. His atomizer of arrogance.
Hey, man.
It's our man, Josh the Model Martel Padgett.
Oh, yeah, and I'm injecting a little scent of arrogance.
Yes, you are.
AfterBuzz.
Yes, you are, Josh Padgett, representing the female demo as the model. What made you go with this choice? I don't think it was one of the mainstream characters who many people would think of. I mean, you pulled this one and gave it some thought.
I did. I wanted to go with the underground, wrestler that most of your casual fans wouldn't know, but I tell you, on the WrestleMania Genesis game, man, he was one of the greatest characters on there, the Boston Crab.
And who could remember the blindfold match against Jake the Snake Roberts?
Got him in the eye.
To me, it was when I first started watching, him and Tito Santana were the champs of Strikeforce, and I loved that team. And then when he turned on Tito and became the model, I hated Rick Martel.
Oh, man.
I mean, just looking at you, I can tell that our female viewerships may have their hearts broken.
They may be up 37% right now.
Could be.
Yeah.
Heartbroken, like our female tag team on the couch, representing the HBK Heartbreak Kid back in the day. Look at this as the music's going to hit. The original version of the theme. Kaori, Sensational Sherry Takee.
That's Scary Sherry.
It is Scary Sherry right there. You're right. There's a difference in the sensational and scary.
Very scary.
Look at you. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely glad to have you here. Looking, man, is she a beauty or what, Padgett?
She is. She's sensational. She's scary. She's everything all above.
And sitting next to her on the couch may not need an explanation or an introduction as she represents the First Lady of Pro Wrestling. Ooh, yeah! Don't look her in the eyes! But right there, Cathy, Miss Elizabeth Kelley.
Hi.
Looking as sweet and innocent as the original was. Rest in peace to both of them, actually. On the
actually, yes.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that and put two and two together until now. We got two dead superstars on the couch.
At least we got some live ones up here.
I'll do my best to make her live tonight.
Say that again?
I'm going to do my best to have her live on tonight.
Living on through your legacy of hosting brilliance and excellence. I myself representing Daddy-O, the mouth of the South, but I'm not the mouth of the South. I'm the mouth of the West. GQ money.
That hair kind of looks like Lionel Richie, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Look at Springfield. You remember that the song on the wrestling album? Come on, guys.
Oh, the Jimmy Hart song. Yeah. I mean, Jimmy doing a lot of the music for them.
Pile Driver? Was it that one?
I mean, this is a long introduction as we go through everybody. I'm gonna go a little longer just as we go through our weekend. I brought some gifts for you from my weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I had a very interesting, very busy, work-filled week. I was at the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio, doing some freelance work with the WWE on some videography, and I got to spend some time with Oksana and WWE Divas champion Caitlyn. And I had Oksana, since you're such a big fan of her, and love the way she improves constantly.
I think she is the biggest improvement of the Divas division.
I had her sign a little 8x10 to Clum for you.
There you go.
All right.
And Padgett, I wanted you to have something that would make you feel good too. So if we can get the camera ready on Josh, I want to see his facial expression when he reads this specialized, personalized note from Caitlyn as I go off the table. Read it out loud to the people, Josh.
Josh, I hope this pick gives you as much joy as Jericho. Caitlyn, it does. Oh, my God. If you come in here, though, a hug would blow it out of the water.
Look at him. Look at him making a plea for hugs on the air.
Come on, Caitlyn, let's go.
He's in trouble when he gets home tonight.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah.
Let's get on with the show because we started hot. We started on fuego. We started with pillars and plumes of fire because the gong rang and the Undertaker made his slow, theatrical, eerie, ominous entrance onto the stage. And as he got there, raised his arm and the sign on the Titantron illuminated, projecting the WrestleMania logo as once again, as I said, the fireballs just pillared out. I mean, it was an intense start to old school Raw.
And I like that. Get it out of the way. Let's announce Undertaker's back. He's going to be at WrestleMania instead of the last few years they've had a bill where he shows up and surprises somebody. You know, he's back. He's going to do it. And then everybody wants to come out and be a part of the match. So
Kaori and Cathy, it's not something you get to see so often. We probably haven't seen the Undertaker on WWE television
since last year.
Yeah, since last year.
And and it was a full year that time. So he's only wrestled, what, 2 matches in the last 2 years.
Yeah, so what do you think about the entrance, the theatrics, the overall presence and aura that Undertaker brings to the table? They always talk about on commentary how when that music hits, you always feel the chill in the arena. How did they make you guys feel tonight?
I feel the chills at home watching it from the screen. Yeah. Really good stuff.
I watched WrestleMania, was it 28? A couple weeks ago, just to catch up, and it was pretty creepy then. That was the first time that I actually saw his entrance.
Did he have druids on that entrance at WrestleMania? Usually,
probably.
No, or was it just the dragons? Did he have people like escorting him? Because sometimes on the WrestleManias he has an even more elaborate with like extra people in druid costumes.
It was still pretty creepy though.
Yeah, I mean, he Undertaker's lasted forever. The true legend of WWE, living legend. You know, had his whole entire career there pretty much.
My guess is Twitter is probably going to explode with different superstars talking about how awesome the entrance was tonight. Usually every year you see that. Everyone talks about just the guys in the back about the aura of they just want to be by the curtains and watch the entrance themselves.
I wish they had kept it a better surprise, though, because, I mean, I feel like everyone knew because of his appearance at the house show. Recently.
But at the same time, I think they do that because it does pique interest in ratings and stuff. Because now you got the buzz spreading that Undertaker's coming back. They put the logo on the WWE app today, trying to get people to tune in and see if they can spike ratings.
A text from WWE app, and they were like, what was it? The Undertaker has risen or something like that. 5 minutes before they started the.
I mean, once again, it's all about spiking ratings at that point.
Yeah, they've done things like before, like on SmackDowns that are pre-taped when there's like a big title change. They'll announce sometimes the title change ahead of time to get people to watch. And I think it's probably something they actually learned on the McFoley WCW thing when everybody switched over when they found out Foley won the title. They thought nobody would care because they already got the result, and it made everybody tune in.
Absolutely, and ratings have been pretty good for the last few weeks. I think they'll continue the trend tonight. 1, with the old school Raw theme. 2, the return of Undertaker. 3, we got The Rock in an exchange. 4, we get great mic work as usual by CM Punk. I mean, the show starts hot, and I think we're going to see it show in the ratings.
And the look of the, I mean, I love the look, personally. That's what I grew up with. That's what I grew up with. I was saying I would love them to go back to the red, white, and blue ropes, at least for a little while. They don't have to do it forever, but, you know, give us a few more months of it. I like it.
Yeah, it's a nice hybrid of, like, the Attitude Era and then, like, what
and they switch things up all the time. They switch the rope, you know, sometimes they're all red. You know, they seem to go through phases. So
I think it went rock and wrestling to Attitude. You know, maybe there's a phase in between.
There was
but that 80s Hoganish era was rock and wrestling.
You had there was that weird 90s era.
The early 90s of
the Repo Mans and the IRSs and that, the in your house type.
The Mega Maniacs, not the Mega Powers. You know, I was like, oof.
After the Undertaker's entrance happened, I mean, it set the stage for Raw. We go into a Mean Gene old school intro, seeing old video clips, old music, old graphics.
No Fink tonight, which is a little bit disappointing to me. I think he should have announced the entire show.
Yeah, interesting point. There was no Howard Finkel,
and
I
first employee ever of WWE, I believe.
Yeah, and even if we didn't get him for a ring announcement, it would have been nice to get a WWE in your town little commercial or something with the here's where you know.
But these
Sean Mooney come back and do that.
It's hard to get these old school Raws to be perfect. I mean, we didn't have Nitro to flip to during commercials either. You know, it's like you got to get what you get. You know,
the graphics were great though. It definitely took you back.
Yeah, I mean, we were stated that it was a blast from the past, right from the get-go.
The Titantron, old school Titantron with the kind of scaffolding there.
Yeah, the towers.
Black curtains.
Old school desk, but the announcers.
And then coming out of that intro, we get old school style pyro as well. The sirens are going off in the background. My megaphone's broken, otherwise I'd rock the siren right here. And we get a CM Punk promo to start us off.
CM Punk Superstar.
Yeah, the old school graphics.
Yeah, I love those.
I like the yellow and white, you know, just classic. It's just such a simpler time. Even just everything with technology now, and it's all about cool 3D graphics, and we get to go back to the basics. And, you know, I didn't feel like I was missing anything.
That was nice.
I mean, yeah, I do too. I was the simplicity of it. It still looked great. I still loved it. I think that still plays well on television, even that look.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I miss the old times. I miss Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle old times, not the new times. Everything old school is the way to go.
Too much lights now. I would like to see them dial it back a little bit, and they kind of have. They've brought their pyro back, and some of it's budgetary stuff. But I mean, it was that bigger, better was a time. But I think we can start moving back a little bit.
CM Punk states that he should be defending his championship in the main event of WrestleMania, but he's not. You all screwed him, and in screwing him, you're all screwing himself. You being the crowd in attendance and the viewers watching worldwide. What do you think about this man and his thought process right here?
I thought this was an excellent thought process. I love this whole thought process of, well, it's almost like my thing got screwed up, so I'm going to screw everything up for you.
Yeah, let me elaborate. He actually says that if he's not in the main event, there's no point in him even going to WrestleMania. But then he was like, but what I just saw right now has inspired him. And he's going to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. His 434-day streak title reign that was cut short by chicanery, in essence. He's gonna screw the people and screw Undertaker's streak, ending and stealing the streak, making it 20-1.
And I like that motivation. It makes sense. It plays into Punk's character. Well, you guys are going to disrespect me and disrespect my long run. Well, screw you guys, and I'm going to ruin your favorite wrestler's legacy, and I'm going to screw it up for you.
And it wasn't a few years ago, right? It hasn't been very long. Punk beat Undertaker in a cell. Right? When they were right after the before the Straight Edge Society.
I know Taker took the title from Punk.
Yeah, I don't believe that's the case. I don't think Punk has defeated the Undertaker.
I don't think he has. I don't think he has, but
I'm not that statistician once again.
No,
it's not my forte.
Hopefully I will get a text message here telling me that hopefully shortly.
Unfortunately, the live stream is down right now, so we won't be getting any.
We're working on it.
It's okay.
We're working on it.
CM Punk saying that he says what he means what he says, and at WrestleMania he will beat the streak, and you all have to just deal with it. Strong, as usual.
Yeah.
Josh, I'm wondering from you, I mean, you're a fan of both of these guys. Obviously, lifelong fan of The Undertaker, an obvious huge fanatic of CM Punk. Who do you think's gonna, what are you feeling going to this match? Do you want to see the streak end, or do you want to see Undertaker just keep this thing clean?
Hell no, I don't want to see the streak end.
No.
But this mortifies me because CM Punk has been doing nothing but losing lately, and now he's going to lose at Mania, but he will have an awesome match if this is what we're going to get. Because right now, I've been really worried about Undertaker. Like, I think I was saying last week, you should just sit this one out because we're used to having this long, drawn-out, feud building for, with the Triple H's and the Shawn Michaels of recent years. But now it's like he's just going to show up and like, all right, I'll take on Punk. So I was a little worried by this because like, where's Punk going to go now? Yeah. And so
CM Punk had actually been tweeting that he really didn't want the match at The Undertaker because he said that what he loves about pro wrestling is that unpredictability and not knowing what's going to happen, and it's all you kind of figure what's going to happen. I mean, we could be shocked, the world could be shocked, but generally speaking, we're expecting 21-0.
I want to say something also about his Punk losing a lot recently because I know you're a Punk fan, but he just ran a 400-something day run on the title. So when you switch that, there's immediately you're going to have a losing streak because first you lose the title, then you have to have your rematch, and you have to lose that rematch for the title. And so just when you switch the title, just the way it's built, you're going to lose 3 or 4 matches in a row when you've had that belt.
Yeah, and then in theory you get frustrated. You're taken out of your mental game at that point, and you got to refreshen yourself up to come back for a new.
So I think it's fine. I don't think it's like he's lost so much. He just lost the title. It makes sense. He's going to have a losing streak.
You want him to turn face?
No, I mean, eventually he'll have to turn face. Like, he'll keep losing, and then he'll go, I got it.
You think that this one's set in stone and the match is meant to happen, but instead we hear the music of WWE's apex predator, Randy Orton, who comes to the ring saying, "Don't be so confident. I've beaten you at WrestleMania. And while 8 years ago I was a rookie at Mania and I wrestled The Undertaker and I came incredibly close to beating him. And for that, he thinks he's deserving of another chance because he's not a rookie anymore, and he wants to let the WWE Universe decide, will it be CM Punk or will it be Randy Orton? And when he said that, we were all thinking Jericho Flashpole.
Exactly. But my God, 8 years. How does that make you feel?
That Orton's been in the WWE for 8 years now.
That was 8 years ago that him and Undertaker had a match at WrestleMania.
In his
it feels
rookie
like
year.
It was like 3 years ago. It's insane.
Insane how time flies, and the older you get, time goes by even quicker.
Wow.
I remember just yesterday when I felt like I was 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Show's music then hits. Yeah, it's the Big Show. And he essentially says, I faced him at Mania, but back then I didn't have this weapon. That's right, Clum. Look at the size. Talking about fists and weapons. Mark Henry, the biggest fist
Oh my God, yeah.
Thing was like 3 times the size of. Anyway, we'll
I was
get
looking
back to
at
that later.
picture from this weekend that we were all sent. I think someone sent it to us of everyone, him and Bruno and Stan. And what a giant human being he is. Oh my God, I was like, wow. Just in context of everybody else, like he's huge.
Yeah, I shouldn't have jumped. We'll get to Henry later when he comes through.
Have you met Big Show before? In person?
Big Show. I don't think I've been around Big Show in person.
I was wondering, who's bigger?
I would think you would remember if you've been around Big Show before.
Yeah, no, it's not standing out as a big memory. I mean,
I've heard shaking his hand is just like unbelievable.
I think Henry's hand would have covered my whole entire face. I mean, it looked like just this cement blood. It's like thing or like.
Was it? Didn't Andre the Giant put his hand over Bob Ueckers or someone's face and cover his face completely? Yeah.
Yeah. Big Show also saying he needs to be more than you need to be more than a Viper. You need to be more than a straight edge superstar. You need to be a giant if you want to beat The Undertaker. And that wasn't it again, because then we get the music of Sheamus, who made an incredibly poignant thought.
Yes, he did.
He said he's never faced The Undertaker, and because of that, he's never lost to The Undertaker.
He's the only one that hasn't lost. All 3 of those guys have been beaten up by him.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a great point. Deserving of a shot for that very reason. And then, excuse me!
I love her.
Excuse me!
Oh, man. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Vicky Guerrero.
That's what's so excellent about
Amazing.
her.
It's amazing, yeah.
She comes in saying the person who beats the streak will cement their legacy as the greatest superstar of all time. And tonight, she's setting up a fatal four-way where the winner of that match will take on The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And that's it. No one, everyone's just like, yeah.
Well,
Crickets.
I actually wanted to see Sheamus do it.
You want to see Sheamus take the match on this one?
Why?
Just because I feel like he does deserve it. If he hasn't, you know.
And I would tell you, of all the
He
those
made
guys,
the best point in your mind.
Yes.
And I also think of all those guys, let's say theoretically we are going to let somebody beat The Undertaker this year. Who makes the most sense? It would be Sheamus because he's got the most upside to his career. You know, I would say most of the guys, those other three are really veterans. I
understand that they need to put Punk in a bigger match at WrestleMania, but obviously, like, all of us kind of wanted it to be for
What, wanted it to be Sheamus?
No. Wanted him
to be
face,
for the title.
Yeah. Wanted him to face The Rock.
In a perfect world. Well, in a perfect world, it would be Taker versus CM Punk streak for to me. But
it's not a perfect world. It's a mad world.
Mm-hmm.
That was I didn't have.
And that's just my perfect world.
Right
it's
there.
not
I wasn't
many people.
Close to the right
but you go back like 3 months ago. Like, this is the card that we talked about. We said it was going to be Rock Cena, and then that's the thing Punk was saying. And
we knew it was going to be Punk Undertaker most likely, and we also knew it was going to. Or the one we didn't know was Del Rio and Swagger. That was a bit of a surprise.
I'd like to send a shout out to Xbox Carter just because.
Why?
Well, he asked me if I would, and
so you just
big
do
fan of the
whatever,
show.
Whatever
He's a big fan of the show.
Okay.
He's been shooting me some messages, and I figured I'd honor him with a shout out.
He hasn't shot me any messages, I don't think.
Antonio Cesaro taking on Ryback. Cesaro debuting a new T-shirt, as well as some
old
new
school
trunks.
tights. I loved it.
And not only that, an old school picture-in-picture promo in a box talking about the fact that he speaks 5 languages while Ryback barely speaks 1, Neanderthal.
Yeah.
And then he goes off in a yelling in Swiss rant. It was dope.
Every time they bring these back and they do them, you'll get one in a couple months. They won't do another one. These little promos in a box. They need these every show. They need these to put characters through. That is how you got to know characters back in the day on these squash matches. They go out, they beat up a jobber, and then you'd have a promo in a box, and that's where you get their character. You get a 30-second promo.
Yeah, a lot more time for matches too.
Yeah,
you know?
and also it protects a lot of your guys, the guys that can't do a 5-minute promo. 30 seconds gets their character, gets people to know who they are. Most guys can do 30 seconds of a character.
So do you think
it's so much better?
Do you think those new trunks are going to be the regular trunks of Cesaro? Or is this a special? They said that he handmade them for the special edition.
I don't know.
You think he's going to continue with them
I
or
hope
go
so.
back? You mentioned you think they dropped the American flag and they dropped the American trunks because of Jack Swagger and Zeb.
That was the SmackDown guys said that yesterday on their show. I thought that was a really good point. Rick and Shannon were talking about that. The minute Zeb came in, the American flags all went away from Cesaro. So.
Antonio with some fantastic drop kicks as usual. Beautiful slam by Ryback where he hoisted him up, kind of did like the half airplane spin, bringing him to the other side for a body slam. It was
whole
beautiful.
match was great.
These two
marching around the ring with the vertical stalled suplex. Man, I'm going back to the trunks. He said he made them because he's a Renaissance man. He's got so many skills and talents.
And we were saying this would be great to, let this lead to a WrestleMania match between these two for the title.
Ryback with a huge gorilla press. These guys work great together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really do work great together. I'd really want to see them in a WrestleMania match for this United States Championship. I don't know if it's going to go that way or if Ryback's going to get stuck with the Shield still. Yeah. But I'd love to see it because they just click every time. And I think under the bright lights of Mania and the whole vibe of that, these guys would put everything they have on the line, and it would be stiff, hard-hitting, action-packed, psychologically, and emotionally just incredible.
Yeah, and we were talking about that when that happened, and then the next moment happens and kind of looks like it might be foreshadowing what they are going to be doing with him.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd was behind Ryback throughout the match, essentially calling for the feed me more. Ryback goes for the meat hook clothesline, but instead, Cesaro comes running out of the corner with his huge European uppercut.
And we all went, oh!
we popped loud in our little screening room, and they were cracking up because we went ape.
Yeah.
No one has
crap.
ever stopped the beast Ryback like that.
Yeah,
I
Cesaro.
love those European
Cesaro goes to set up the neutralizer, goes to hoist him, grabs it, hooks it in, can't get him all the way, gets hoisted over the shoulders of Ryback, set up into shell shock. Ryback stealing or snatching, whatever you want to call it, a victory, but it really was a fantastic match.
Yeah, this is more to come. Yeah. Now, with Cesaro, he's never wearing pads. Now, you guys... Like, it's
brutal.
That's going to be rough on your body, right?
Yeah.
With that kind of schedule?
Especially depending on what kind of moves you do. Yeah, I mean, it's hard on your knees.
Yeah, I couldn't
drop
imagine
on your knees. I couldn't do it. I have a bruised knee right now because I threw a spine buster on somebody and my knee pad was down a little bit. So just landing on that just really bruised it up. It can be rough.
As Ryback was making his way to the back.
I'm sorry, just one thought. Just on that, I just thought of Cody Rhodes did not have knee pads for a long time. I saw him interviewed about it, saying, "Oh, I like Luthez and those guys. I want to look tough." And then he realized pretty quickly, I need knee pads. So.
Sheamus makes his way up the Ryback makes his way up the ramp to the back. Mark Henry makes his way to the ring.
Music hitting.
He's intimidating, man.
Oh yeah. Little bit of eye contact.
Someone's gonna get their ass kicked. Yeah.
And you were just going to attack him. Go get him.
I wanted him to.
Get him.
I wanted him to pass. He made that eye contact. I thought he was gonna just turn and go after him because I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I have no problem with Ryback and Mark Henry either.
Put him in a Hall of Pain right there.
Would have been sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan of this, of this push for Mark Henry.
I agree.
I'm a proponent to push Mark Henry. He was also along with on the weekend that I spent. Got to have a nice meal with Mark Henry. A lot of food on the table, man.
Bet.
A lot of food on the table.
Got to deadlift 800 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Everybody that I know that's
food.
met Mark Henry always says really nice things about him.
Arnold had fantastic things to say about him at the International Sports Hall of Fame ceremony.
Oh, really?
Who's the favorite person you met?
Caitlyn. I know, it's Caitlyn.
No, man,
she was already his favorite going in.
Great, just a great time. I mean, just spending. I spent probably the most time with Caitlyn Oksana and one of the execs from WWE. And we just had a blast. I mean, we worked hard. We did media tours, went to radio stations, went around the Arnold Expo, met fans.
Those are the fun type of jobs.
It was awesome, and we just had such a good time, and everyone had such a, I was happy that they kind of welcomed me into their crew with open arms.
Because you were kind of flying a wall that way with right? Just shooting and
I'm just
around.
flying the wall, videotaping, and then editing some projects. Hopefully, some of it may get used as bonus footage on a DVD. We may see some of my Bruno footage show up during the Hall of Fame package. We'll see. I got that email to them today. It was actually hours and hours and hours of uploading. It took forever after a full night of, never mind. Back to the action at hand.
Yeah, you don't want Martin to
Ryback's huge gorilla press was once again impressive. I already said that. We're already behind that. We're already out of the next match.
Oh, yeah, Mark Henry's already. Mark Henry's walking down the ring. We haven't said who he wrestled.
No,
though.
He's going to wrestle Zack Ryder, who's also wearing those new trunks. The Push Me trunks with the button.
Yeah, I liked it.
I think the trunks are, it's pretty funny. He's outspoken and he's proactive and always trying to get a push, but it doesn't seem like the WWE brass really cares.
Yeah, did you see he was posting stuff on Twitter about getting his new WrestleMania trunks for catering and like all these jokes about it. He's always joking about it.
Yeah, this one was a squash match as we would have expected, and Henry just essentially saying, everybody better stay out of my way. Nobody stand in my way. I love him. He's like the teddy bear, but he could turn on you so quick. Like, that's the thing. To be honest, like his personality, we got the stream back working, so we're back live right now.
Awesome.
That's a little tribute to my man Stu Stone with the live. But man, Henry has this great personality, gets along with all the kids and everyone that's coming up and talking to him, and they're all attracted to him like he's the big giant teddy bear. But you just see that in his eyes that he can just switch, snap, and he is one scary dude, man.
Yeah.
Dolph and the crew in back, Biggie Langston, AJ, they're walking down the hallway, and Dolph just slaps some papers out of the hands of a worker in the hallway.
They got
for that.
Engaged at a house show, potentially.
Potentially engaged.
Yeah, I saw that.
Taking storylines to another level.
But interesting, they didn't say anything about that, did they?
Wow.
Not the power couple that Triple H and Stephanie became, I don't believe.
No. How is that possible? That's the ultimate power couple of all time.
That guy can't even get a win anymore. I mean, has Ziggler won a match in the last 3 months?
I don't think so.
Very few.
He's barely been on TV. I mean, yeah, he doesn't get.
It's always quiet before the storm.
His stock dropped.
His stock dropped big time. You don't even like him anymore. You think he's a loser. You got the L up, don't you, for him?
He's okay.
Who's okay?
Oh, that's not what you were saying in that little message thread. Throw it out there. You're under the bus right now. I'm throwing you, chucking you, and letting you get run over right now. You said that you don't like losers, and he's a loser now.
Dolph Ziggler? Are we talking about Dolph?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You read it too. I didn't mean it that meanly.
I'm gonna have to get. I think I can actually get that message to him. Or, I think we will have to get that out.
No, I think I'm over the storyline that they have right now. I think that's all it is.
So you're just over him.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
She's moved. She likes Brad Maddox. I mean, what can you say?
Who wasn't on television?
No, he wasn't.
Today.
Where was he? He didn't make any in the ring matches.
No Team Bricky. No. I mean, it could have been funny when she set up the Fatal 4-Way as well. If he was coming in to go cut her off from that.
I got to give a shout out to one of our fans, Sam, who sent me that video I sent to all of you on the interactive website that they did with Brad Maddox last week, where he made an in the ring match against CM Punk.
I love that.
I actually missed that one. I didn't catch
you didn't see it?
No.
Oh, it's so funny.
He says he made it in the ring match, and then he just starts cracking up, so he has to walk off screen.
He goes up to Matt Stryker first and basically goes, "You better watch out or I'll put you and me in the main event tonight." I'm just kidding. I already made the main event match tonight of CM Punk and John Cena in an in the ring match. So yeah, it was very good.
And they both just lost it.
Yeah, and then they both laughed, and he kept going back and forth, and they were both laughing. Yeah, it was very funny.
We come back from commercial to have The Miz in the ring, making an introduction of his mentor, Ric Flair.
His mentor.
The Nature Boy!
He taught it to him like a week ago. They've been on TV once. Miz has been wrestling for how long? It's his mentor, right? Come on.
Miz versus Dolph Ziggler in another pretty darn good match as we keep Raw rolling hot in this first hour. Dolph with some words for Ric Flair throughout the match, saying, "You better pay attention, old man." But each time he kind of had words for the Nature Boy, Miz would get the upper hand. And everybody was strutting in that match. Dolph threw a strut, Miz threw a strut, Ric Flair threw a strut.
And Dolph has been doing that strut much longer than Miz has for a while. He does the whole strut and then he flicks his nasty hair, juice everywhere.
Throw some juice.
And there was a lot of
look at the blood, look at the blood.
There was a lot of
Silence of the Lambs. You don't get that.
There was a lot of outside interference from AJ and Big E in this, and the best interference I've seen them do with them. You know, I thought it was actually the best they've used them on the outside.
Yeah, AJ gets onto the apron, kind of crawling in between the ropes, half in the ring. Referee sees what's going on, goes to handle that action, and on the other side of the ring, Big E Langston is able to hit the Miz, sending him down. But then Flair comes running around the ring with a little return of receipt to Big E Langston right there with some chops.
No-sold everything.
Completely no-sold it, like Triple H no-sold me this weekend. And then Ziggler ends up rolling up Miz for a 2 count. Miz hooks
I thought that was it.
Yeah, it definitely falls on that one.
Yeah,
Thought it was going to be it. Miz goes with the figure 4, and Dolph Ziggler taps. And at that point, Ric Flair starts air humping the rope on the hard cam.
Staring right at AJ.
And Miz and Nature Boy celebrate with the slew of empty bumps in the ring.
Yeah.
I hate those elbow drop with no one there.
Yeah,
I hate tap outs more than the elbow drop.
You don't like submissions and tap outs?
No.
He wasn't dropping it on his jacket this time, right?
No,
he'll usually throw the jacket down and start dropping elbows on his jacket.
Kathy, why?
I just feel like it's a cop-out.
You don't like
tap I mean, and the figure 4
in the world of fighting, like it's almost like if you can make a guy quit, that's actually almost more of it's more of a shot to your ego that you made them quit.
I'm saying on the person that quit.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she thinks he's a loser for quitting. So he's a loser for quitting.
Dolph
he's a loser and he quit.
Oh my God.
So that
she's back.
She's like, oh, you know,
she really does.
I mean, she was losing by pinfall, so that was one thing. But now he's a loser and he completely quit. So now she's totally done with him.
If you like the discussion you're hearing, you should check out each and every one of our episodes from the archives to the current, and you could do so on iTunes. Why don't you head on over there to the store, do a little search for AfterBuzz TV. You'll see Monday Night Raw's AfterBuzz show recap right there on the list. Hit subscribe, rate it 5 stars, throw a comment on there showing us some love, and then go ahead and tell a friend to do the same. And if you want to see it visually, you can also go to YouTube, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, where you can check out the video archives. There's a playlist of all of our shows, and you could see us in our splendid glory.
Amen.
How do you like them apples?
Oh, I like them.
I like them a lot. I like them a lot. As we lead into hour number 2, The Rock heads to the stage for a little point and counterpoint segment. And Clum, you shake your head right there.
It was okay. No, it was okay. I actually wrote here Rock and Cena blah blah, but
he delivers a long speech about being cold. Talks about the people's nipples being frozen and how cold it is here in Buffalo. But he does state that we are 34 days from WrestleMania.
Yeah. You know, this is just kind of a more of the same type of stuff I saw this last year. This is a rerun. You know, I mean, it's good. I mean, Rock says this stuff and then getting into later, the counterpoint is fine, but it's a rerun.
It's not fresh. It's not organic.
No.
It's been genetically modified.
Rock and Cena, blah, blah. I mean, it's
And
really
I kind of liked it. I kind of liked
content was fine.
When Cena got there and it was like, look, man, because it's true. He lost to The Rock at WrestleMania. He's been downward spiraling. This was the year of Punk last year.
Cena says he needed to win that match last year, and he failed. And losing that match was a catalyst to his entire life spinning out of control into a downward spiral and going bad. And just as he's saying that, the crowd starts picking up with the Cena sucks chants.
I feel like people are going to be tired of this matchup before WrestleMania hits.
That sucks.
Yeah, and it's just more of
We got a month,
like,
so I think we can build it still.
yeah, and it's just kind of more the same to me of I'm going to beat you. No, I'm going to beat you.
I mean, you don't think another Rock concert's going to put asses in the seats and cause pay-per-view buys?
It's got to be better than last year's.
It's just these promos to me feel now like I'm going to beat you. No, I'm going to beat you. No, well, you think you're going to beat me, but I'm really going to beat you. No, well, you think you're going to beat me, but I'm going to really beat you. But I think and you do.
With The Rock. Go ahead, Kaori.
I'm thinking maybe The Rock should mention the belt. The Cena should mention the belt.
It's a championship.
The championship title. I'm sorry.
It's not a
No,
belt.
you're all right. I spent the whole weekend hearing
Where's
that.
Vince?
Man, but here's what he actually said. He said, you ain't getting redemption. You're getting your ass kicked. And then Cena said that he's got a quote from Mike Tyson.
I have a few.
And actually, I just want to say
I'm going to eat his children. And then he started laughing. But he said, no, the real quote that he had from Mike Tyson was, in order to be the best one alive, you have to beat everyone living. Cena making a point that he's got to do what he has to do to cement his legacy as the greatest WWE superstar of all time by beating one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. And The Rock essentially says, you want a quote from a famous athlete? I got one for you. Winning is about heart. You have to have it in the right place. And that's Lance Armstrong who said that, and he was full of crap, and so are you. And in 34 days, he's going to make history. I think Cena actually said in 34 days he's going to make
Interesting, right?
You know, I'm sorry. One thing, Kaori brought up a pretty good point right there before about the title and him not talking about that. And that makes a really good point there is this whole promo was about ego and I'm going to beat you and I got to get back at you for what you did to me. It has nothing to do with this championship. So why did we put the belt on Rock and why?
But I think you'll get that in the next week or two of promos. I think this is going to develop into something important.
I hope so.
Meaningful.
They need to make the title mean something in this, and they have to build it around the championship and make the championship mean something, or else it made no sense to take it off Punk to put it in this program because this program didn't need the title per se, and if you're not going to use it, then it's ridiculous, in my point. So hopefully we'll see that happen.
You got rid of my spinner title.
Yeah. Although that's your spinner title. Come on, you like that?
No, I hate it. But like Cena could say that to The Rock.
I thought Josh was saying like they got rid of my spinner title and I'm mad.
No.
Like, whoa,
I love the new belt, new championship,
like
the new championship.
Yeah.
A lot of negative space.
I should have my championship back on the table next week.
Why? Where? Oh, that's
still getting redone, man.
Still getting bedazzled.
Redone.
But about this,
so are you getting that all done up for? I mean, Bo may take that right away from you, though. Your new
Bo doesn't have a chance, man. I'm just too good, man.
Oh,
I'm just
a big boy.
Good.
It's a big boy.
You've seen Bo Cooper
I'm
wrestle.
small, I'm quick, I'm faster, I'm more agile, more ability. The punk rock powerhouse definitely going down.
But you know what, though? All he's got to do is get one hand on you.
Oh, man, he can't touch me.
He
can't touch me.
One hand of those tights, and oh, man.
Man, he doesn't know what's coming. Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter in the ring. We continue on with the Raw Goes Old School theme as some real American heroes make their way to the ring. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, ho! Along with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Sergeant Slaughter, an American patriot, an American hero, and an American dream.
Probably the top three, like, American guys during the 80s, unless, I mean, Hogan was in there as well, minus Hogan. But those were the three, like, rah-rah American guys from the 80s. It's great. I loved seeing the three of them in there.
Exactly what I expected out of this match, a squash match by Jack Swagger, who ends up using...
It wasn't even a match.
Yeah, I mean, he ends up using the 2x4,
Did they even ring? They never rang a bell.
They just beat him all up.
Just beat him up.
He did what he has to do.
Yeah.
And then we end up seeing, Jack and Zeb in the back. Josh goes up to interview him, asking him about the disrespect he showed to these three legends. And just as he's about to talk and answer, Alberto Del Rio attacks from behind, and we're left with the big pull apart in the backstage area.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And luckily security shows up.
Terrible angle or terrible of just the tragedy and travesty of what happened?
It's a tragedy that Jack Swagger's being attacked by a border jumper on his own soil. I think this is a good angle. I like it. And getting mainstream media attention as well.
A lot of free.
Kathy, politically speaking, you on the Jack Swagger Zeb Coulter side, or are you a little bit more of a liberal American saying we should have some open borders, let some people live that American dream that they cross to push for?
You're next on minorities, so go ahead.
I'm moderate in my political beliefs, so that is all I will say.
She's gonna be a politician.
I am
Future politician right here.
Neutral talk from Cathy Kelley. $1 Million Man seen on the screen. Everybody has a price. We were told that we saw a little spot on Raw Active where the primetime players went up to them asking, because of the fact that they're all about the millions of dollars, there'd be no one better to represent them at this point than the $1 Million Man. And he essentially says he'll observe the match, and if they can defeat Team Hell No in a match, he'd consider offering his managerial services.
And you were mentioning that you didn't think he really looked like the $1 Million Man. He didn't look like a man of wealth.
No, you'd think that for a guy who's coming back, he'd have a better suit, fresh dye on the hair, just looking slicker. It's not even the suit.
They should have done that up.
He just didn't look slick.
They should have been like, Vince, can we borrow one of your suits and throw it on Ted?
It should have been the gimmick sparkle jacket at that point. I'm assuming he just weighs a lot more and it doesn't fit, and they didn't have time to go make a new custom one. But,
or he got there and he didn't know they were going to do it till he got there tonight, and he didn't have his stuff with him. Decent
back and forth match, nothing too special. Actually, in fact, I think this was the moment where I said this is the first spot of Raw that really kind of slowed the pace down, took away from the excitement that we'd had the whole entire evening at that point. Ends up being a semi-hot tag to Kane. Kane gets a choke slam on Darren Young for the win. And then $1 Million Man kind of pulls out the old Hundy. The Benjamin Franklin stuffs it into the mouth of Darren Young, old school style.
Mm-hmm.
And then as everyone was going back up the entrance ramp to the backstage area, Daniel Bryan kind of
did the Virgil.
He turns around. He stole the Hundy, stuffed it in his pants, and I'm left wondering, does he get to keep that as a bonus Hundy for the night, or does he got to give that back when he gets back?
I really hope he walked back there and cut a promo with that $100, and they did something with them back there for the website or something.
I'm legitimately just wondering if he got to keep that as a bonus for the night.
I think that's a good point. But whose Hundy was it? Was it out of Vince's wallet?
I don't know if it's out of Vince's wallet. I don't know if it's out of DiBiase's wallet, but I'd say doubtful.
Or I mean, it could be out of petty cash, and just, hey man, if I was a line producer or had that petty cash, I need a receipt then. I need a receipt for that $100 that's coming out of my paycheck.
I remember you asking where was Virgil, and based on some pictures floating around the internet, Virgil's been in the New York City subway system setting up a table trying to sell some pictures and autographs lately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's fallen far. He's struggling, trying to make some extra cash.
Wow.
So if you happen to be riding the subway, go give the guy $10 for a picture, man. Go support some old school wrestling.
I'll never forget when I first met Jerry Jarrett, and he said old wrestlers become old security guards. And it was a very sad thing when I remember him saying that from here.
Hey, are you ready for something cool?
What's that?
Something as cool as the Lords of Funk?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet Tea and Brodus Clay, along with the Funkadactyls, making their way to the ring, dancing their way into the ring. And then we see the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, Daddy-O, the Honky Tonk Man.
No bumping.
Long side burns in my slick back hair.
Keep it going.
I don't know the rest.
My hair slicked back. I'm a cruiser tied my pink Cadillac, just a honky tonk man.
He's a honky tonk man.
I'm just a honky tonk man.
He's a honky tonk man. I'm the honky tonk man. I'm cool. I'm cocky. I'm bad.
Did you see that his stuff's now available on iTunes? They didn't have back when old school wrestling was actually around.
Yeah.
So you can buy the Honky Tonk Man's theme on iTunes now?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
They had like a little bug about it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. Well, as Honky Tonk Man was about to say something, he was interrupted by 3MB's Heath Slater. Mm-hmm. But that didn't go too far. It was cut off right from the get-go.
Yeah, so it's weird. Like, okay, here's the one thing. I love the fact the Honky Tonk Man was out there, but why was Honky Tonk Man out there? Yeah, like there was no reason he wasn't in the match. Well, it just has to do with
because this is the music crew. So we got the dancers and the music. We got the 3MB, the greatest rock band in WWE, baby!
But wouldn't it have made a little bit more sense than to stick him in a 6-man tag with the other
because
three?
Honky Tonk's got a no bump policy, my man.
But he could just stand.
No bump policy unless you give me a handle of Jack.
I know, but just stick him on the thing. Let the other guys wrestle and then have him come in and do the thing. He doesn't even have to get between the ropes, but it would make sense to have him in a match, you know. He doesn't have to get in the ring.
Instead, it's a tag team match.
It made no sense that he was there story-wise.
I'd rather have Honky Tonk come out and start to cut a promo,
have him come out with those guys.
And be like, hey, man, shut up. We don't want to hear you. Then Brodus Clay and
that's kind of what happened in a little bit of a structure.
It just mixed up a little bit.
It should have been a 6-man.
Ends up being a tag team. We got Drew and we got Heath Slater taking on the Lords of Funk. This is a squash, doesn't go anywhere. Drew McIntyre goes for a splash in the corner. 10-side ducks out of the way. Goes for a roll-up, and that's it, man. It's over.
24 seconds long.
Yeah, they all start dancing. Quick one at that. They all start dancing around.
Yeah,
once again,
tags, nothing.
No, once again, Slater gets into the ring. And finally, Honky Tonk Man hits him with the guitar. Stiff shot with the guitar. Mm-hmm. Takes him down. You were wondering how bad those are. I mean, it's a guitar. It could hurt, man. They generally use legit guitars, is what I said to you. Yeah. It's not like it's necessarily a prop. I mean, you may gimmick it a little bit so it breaks a little easier, but you're getting hit with a guitar on the head, man, and it could definitely cut you because you never know how the wood's going to sliver. Right. We get to see a little package about, Josh's favorite thing, packages. Mm-hmm. We get to see one about Wade Barrett's premiere of his new movie. It took place at the ArcLight here in downtown Hollywood. Yep. Downtown Hollywood.
The Cinerama Dome.
And then we get to hear, guess what we're getting?
What are we getting?
The entrance of Fandango.
I think you said it right.
That was very nice.
It was close.
If Justin Roberts could have done it,
we may have gotten
as good as that.
I mean, a female dancer comes down to the ring with a couple little moves, and then we see the first live in-studio on Raw or in-arena on Raw entrance of Fandango. And he says he won't wrestle until his name is pronounced right. Mm-hmm. So Josh Roberts tries again. And I thought he did a pretty darn good job. I thought it was actually, I'd say it was pretty much identical to it. Fine. And we're going to have to say that every time we mention his name on the show. Otherwise, we can't talk about it. We can't just be like, yeah, Fandango went and did this. We got to do it every time now from now on.
He wasn't getting the breath right.
Now, you don't love the promos. You didn't love the SmackDown one. You don't love the angle. I think it's pretty entertaining.
And here's also a thing, too, they brought up on SmackDown last night, too. Comes out and goes, I'm not going to wrestle until you say my name right. Fine, you're fired. You've never worked here before. You want to walk in and be like, I'm not going to work till you say my name right. Fine. You know how many other guys want your job?
I don't think this is the first time they've done something like that. I think in the old school days, they still did that when building new wrestlers. You're not really even...
I still would have liked to see Booker T or Vicky or someone come out, and because normally this is the point there. We always seem, what do you mean you're not going to wrestle, bro, or dog? And, Booker T gets into his whole thing. thing.
She understands. She's a smart general manager. She's got a smart assistant to the general manager and Brad Maddox, and they understand that the suspense builds anticipation, and more eyes will come to the product because of this suspense.
Then why didn't Booker do it on Friday?
I'm sure that'll happen eventually.
Yeah,
it'll happen in a couple weeks.
It logically doesn't make sense. It logically doesn't make sense. Somebody who first came in, has never had a match, is now going, I'm not going to do this till you blah, blah, blah. And I understand it's heat, and I understand what it is, but still logically I'm not a fan of that. And also, I feel that his promos have all been about what my name is. I like that. I think it's the beginning, but then I want to hear a little bit more. I feel that he's just stuck on one thing, saying it over and over and over again. I don't think it's very interesting right yet. Yeah, and it could be. I didn't like the three-man band when they first started, and they built themselves into something. So time will tell.
If you're a fan of AfterBuzz TV and what we do here, we ask you to support our executive producers Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro on their latest feature film. It's coming out in theaters. Serial Buddies.
March 8th. It's called Adventures of Serial Buddies. It will be in 6 theaters across the country. So
it's got Kathy Lee Gifford in it, Artie Lang from the Howard Stern Show. You got voiceovers by Henry the Fonz Winkler, Beth Baer from Two Broke Girls. I mean, we got an all-star studded cast. You could see its theatrical release, and then soon after it'll be available on DVD and Blu-ray. We'll keep you in tune to the details.
Yeah.
But why don't you go check that out, and I'm sure you could find a link on AfterBuzzTV.com with more information. And as I say that, I'm going to have a bite of this cupcake that Kathy made for us.
You look like a giant
the
with
mini
that cupcake.
This could be the first time in my life that I've been told that I look like a giant. As we go into hour 3 of the broadcast, I do have a 7-foot giant of a roommate, Monster Heel, at Monster Heel on Twitter.
He's been in once before.
He's been in here once before. We start off hour 3 with Brock Lesnar Triple H package recapping the action and the brawl from last week. The head-splitting action that caused and needed 18, or I don't know the number. I think it was like 18 staples or something, and whatever it was. Triple H made his entrance, and I know you're a fan of Triple H's entrance, one of your favorite WWE entrances of all time.
And one thing is the reason one of the things that I think is so awesome about it is the fact that he has this epic entrance with music, a little bit of lighting effects, and water, and it's just amazing. It's all him. He's the one that makes this amazing entrance. It's not pyro and a lot of costumes and whatnot that you see with a lot of the other guys.
Yeah, but he didn't put a whole lot of thought into his promo tonight, though. He just rehashed everything he touted about right after the brawl last week. He did the Tombstone line. What are you gonna do? Stand there and bleed?
Yeah, and it didn't really make sense this week.
He did say
he's not bleeding anymore. I'm really true.
Yeah.
I mean, saying he said he's been training. He's in great shape. He's needed a reason to come back. And then when Vince, the creator of this thing, was down, there was his reason, and he's calling out Brock. And we get it. So we know that this is solidified. Brock Lesnar and Triple H at WrestleMania. I wasn't too excited about it originally, but based on that brawl and the fact that I don't think we're going to get a normal WWE current era style match, I think this one could actually end up being pretty crazy, man.
Did you see when...
Brock's a lunatic,
Did you see Brock and Cena?
He ran head first into that steel post last week with no hands or nothing.
Did you see Brock Cena when they did...
He left a splatter of blood on that post.
I know.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen blood hit like that, where honestly someone hits it and it just instant wound and splatter. Yeah, I remember that first match, Brock and Cena. It was incredible.
It was more of that MMA style, so maybe we'll get something like that. Because Brock is coming out, you know, he's got the MMA shorts, he wears the gloves, so that match against Cena was very bloody, and he just beat the crap out of Cena the entire match. So I'm wondering if we'll get more of the same, something that style, if that's going to be the style Lesnar's going to be wrestling.
That man's coming from the MMA world, man. He'd take a right hook by Cain Velasquez. He took a giant karate kick right to his damaged stomach.
Knocked out Randy Couture, so I mean,
yeah, boy. Oh, no, Brock is. But I'm just saying, like, he's tough. Like, he's coming out like, whatever, that pole is just sitting there. I'm going to headbutt the crap out of it.
He headbutted the crap out of it.
I still think I still think he did that because the brawl didn't start off good at first. And
he just tried to pick it up.
And he was just like, I need to save this thing, and he whacked his head.
It's nuts.
I don't know that, but... That's a guess.
We get a recap of the action that took place on SmackDown, a little bit of action between The Shield, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show. I think despite that we have this fatal four-way that's going to happen later in the broadcast, I think that kind of solidifies the fact that it's going to be those guys, Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show, taking on the Shield at WrestleMania. So we're not going to get. Oh, actually, that does leave Ryback open. Actually, as we look at it in that sense.
Wonder where he'll go.
That leaves him in that Cesaro or Mark Henry situation, which is positive.
If we go who against the Shield?
Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show.
Orton, Sheamus, Big Show. Do you think Big Show will be? You think
all the guys who eventually?
But I don't think Big Show's going to be part of that because he's not a face yet, and
Yeah, I thought
you
it was
have to turn him to do that.
Ryback
So
and
it'll be Ryback.
Sheamus.
Yeah. Who knows? But Ryback looks like he might be starting something up with Mark Henry. So
we get a promo from the Shield, and as usual, they're on fire. And this angle is sick. The promo style is awesome. The production on it's very cool. It's very fresh still. It's very exciting. It's very underground pirate. It's like pirate radio almost.
Yeah, they keep and they're smart too. Is if you notice those promos, I mean, yeah, it's the same style, but they change it up a little bit.
Oh, they tweaked it. They even had a little sound effect on the Flash this time.
I love the end.
And even when they're introducing themselves, they always introduce. So sometimes it's a full name, sometimes it's a first name, sometimes it's a last name. They do
Ambrose.
it right. They do it differently, so it keeps it fresh.
There was a moment where Ambrose's eyes bugged out open.
Yes, and we all laughed.
Yeah, great eye shots, great facial expressions. And essentially after he did that, he essentially talked about why his eyes are that way, because the eye of justice is always watching everyone, including you, Big Show. Essentially targeting the fact that they're going after the Big Show. And he says, trust us. Nobody can beat us. I mean, they're dope, dude.
They're great.
It's a great little faction. I mean, this is definitely NWO cool. This was the emergence of DX cool. These guys, even though they are heels, are probably the coolest thing in wrestling today.
And they're very smart with this. They have not overexposed them really yet. They started to a little bit, and I think they've been smart. They've realized what they were doing and pulled it back.
Which is funny because it's something that a lot of fans would probably get disappointed with. They want to see more. I want to see what's going to happen. I want to see them wrestle individual matches. But the slow build is going to build to bigger things for all of them.
I mean, how long have they been around now? So was it Survivor Series they came in?
Yeah.
It was Survivor Series, right? So that's November. They've wrestled 3 matches. It's February. So they've wrestled 3 6-man tags. We haven't seen them in anything else once on TV.
It doesn't get more old school than that.
I love it.
Builds,
I love
man.
it. It's great.
And, you know, they're showing up on Main Event. They showed up on NXT last week. I mean, this is huge. You know, I love it. This is... I mean, and see how the 3 guys have just been getting better and better each week too.
Yeah,
I feel like they did have a lull for a while when they. I feel like it wasn't picking up for a while. It was just the same. It was
they did for a minute.
Now it's really picking up steam, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It felt like it's
unpredictable again. You don't know what the attack's going to be, when the attack's going to be, if they're going to be on every week, if they're not going to be on. So I mean, it does bring that.
Yeah, they started to overexpose them at first, and then as I said, that time, then the first time Kat was in here, Katie Lee was in here. They had that time when I think they got beat up and thrown out of the ring, and it kind of killed them. And since then, they've almost kind of like swept that under the rug. Oh, forget about that episode, you know, and have done it right. Again. It never happened. Yeah.
Kudos to Triple H and the guys over there for not screwing that up, because that's an easy thing to mess up. Like, look what happened to Nexus and stuff. You know, it's like
So something gets hot, and you're like, oh, well, we need more and more and more. And look what they did at the NWO. This guy joined, then this guy joined, then this guy joined. And that's what we thought maybe the Shield was going to be at first, that we were going to get all these different guys from NXT. Oh, who's going to be the next member of the Shield?
Well, or was Brock going to be associated when they wanted to bring the sword, and all these different questions we had.
And it's just the 3 of them so far, and I like that.
You need to tease the fans.
Yeah. Maybe at some point you bring a 4th member in, but down the road, way down the road.
Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett takes on the World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio. And as this match was taking place, Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter, with constant appearances on this episode, multiple segments, they make their way to the rampway to observe the match.
And one thing I want to mention, actually, too, since you mentioned they had tons of segments, Kofi Kingston was supposed to be wrestling Fandango and got no time tonight. Like, poor Kofi got,
already in the ring.
Yeah, and for all those Kofi fans who got screwed tonight, because they advertised, hey guys, you're going to get Kofi Kingston tonight.
I wonder if they got him in a Superstars match. I didn't look what any of the darks were.
I don't know. But,
yeah, it's interesting when you think about robbing the fans of that opportunity.
Yeah, you totally did. You advertise Kofi Kingston, then you don't even acknowledge the fact, and all this guy walks out and goes, I am not going to wrestle because you cannot pronounce my name.
What I found interesting about this match was that you got Wade Barrett, who's usually incredibly tough and aggressive, but in this match, it was Alberto Del Rio that was dominantly the aggressor.
Who's a legit shoot fighter. I mean, I guess Barrett did do bare knuckle brawlings, but Del Rio fought Mirko Cro Cop in his prime.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Yeah, it was in Japan, though.
As Dos Caras with his mask. Yeah, he got knocked out in like 30 seconds. You can find it on YouTube, but in Pride. But yeah, I type in Dos Caras versus Mirko Cro Cop.
We get an official name tonight for Wade Barrett's little boss man style slam. It's the Winds of Change. I don't think that we had heard that before. I think tonight's the first day that it was officially named, because it was always the Sidewalk Slam is what Cole kept calling it, which is not what it was. It was a
vintage Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
What happened to his feud with Bo Dallas? Is that just like...
I think they realized that Bo Dallas isn't necessarily drawing the response maybe that they expected, and that may not be just TV, but maybe on the house show circumstances, people just aren't connected maybe.
And I'll tell you, I just saw...
How many times can I say maybe?
I just watched...
Maybe a few more times.
His brother, the former Husky Harris,
Harris,
Bray Wyatt, just wrestled on NXT.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Wow. I mean, he made me think of almost like an earthquake.
Well, he's who I wanted to win
school.
that season of NXT originally. I thought Husky was phenomenal.
He is phenomenal.
He's even better in this Bray Wyatt role.
That Bray Wyatt gimmick is very interesting, kind of this weird cult type thing.
Talking about NXT, Conor O'Brien had a tweet today saying that the Ascension's coming. So
yeah, that's what I'm hearing. There are going to be new members. Good.
Even whether it's new members, or it's just him, he's kind of saying, "I'm coming to the main roster pretty soon. Be ready."
Okay.
Yeah, no, his tweet was more so like, "I'm coming to Raw soon. Be ready."
Good.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be an interesting character.
Yeah. Del Rio attacking the arm as usual and hits the arm bar on the ropes, on the outside of the ropes. Can do some damage, but can't get a win that way. Obviously, has to break the hold within the 5 count.
Only a few seconds to hold that.
Nothing like weakening that arm, though. Get it ready.
Del Rio with the huge kick and then shoots the half for a cover, but not enough. Barrett goes for a pump handle slam, but it's countered. Winds of Change is countered, and Del Rio actually is able to lock in the cross arm breaker for the win.
And Jack Swagger standing out there the whole time at the entrance ramp watching.
Just watching and scouting his opponent.
You know, so Del Rio, our face, attacks him blindly from behind, unprovoked, and then Swagger comes out there and doesn't interfere, doesn't cause any ruckus.
Once again, he's just scouting. He's learning. He's looking for weaknesses.
I thought the reason why Del Rio attacked him was because Swagger attacked all of those other people.
He's just defending the honor.
Yeah.
You know.
We get to see another segment from Jack and Zeb. We get the pre-recorded segments. Political correctness. And they essentially started off saying, remember when freedom of speech actually meant something, because it seems that people are getting offended by their thoughts and viewpoints that they're sharing with the world.
And this is what they need to keep these things to, is these shorter vignettes and stuff with them. When they did the Miz TV segment a couple weeks ago and they had a 5-minute diatribe, it was way too much on this stuff. So this in these small groups is great. I like these.
Cathy, what do you think?
I actually agree with Clum. I think that was too long. I like the small snippets. We'll see who was it, Glenn Beck?
Glenn Beck.
What do you think?
I think they invited Glenn Beck out once, and they also invited Alex Jones.
I think the Alex Jones thing was more for Mania. The Glenn Beck was the invite for Raw, and they're trying to set up Jones.
Did you watch how they stormed his office when they were down there?
That was a great little bit.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it, but I heard
they did like old school WCW, invasion of the office, trying to get
Michael Cole, right?
Michael
Cole invaded,
and it was very good. It was very good.
Security, they got kicked out.
Oh, did they?
It was pretty neat.
Wow. Which still to this day on that WCW invasion, why didn't they let them in? Come on in. Not only that, come to our ring. Hey, everyone, switch to our channel.
Oh, you didn't know?
Like, seriously. Everyone would have switched.
Your ass better call somebody.
Tell me, if they hadn't drove into that arena, everyone would have switched to TNT immediately.
New Age Outlaws, part of that WCW invasion, and the New Age Outlaws are back tonight. First match on Raw in 13 years versus Epico and Primo with Rosa in their corner. And Road Dogg started this thing off strong from the get-go with his usual incredible mic skills and entrance, throwing a little Macklemore thrift shop into the mix. He wears your granddad's clothes. They look incredible. And he hits it. And, man, he starts that match on fire. Tons of charisma, tons of personality. He was enjoyable to watch.
Shake, rattle, and roll, doing it all, man.
One of the best guys on the mic in the Attitude Era. For sure. You know, and there were some amazing guys on the mic in that Attitude
While
Era.
it is true, and I'll give him his props and give him his respect because he is great on the mic, the one thing about his style that always irked me...
It's the same thing?
It's the same thing every week.
Yeah.
So it's not that he's so... You know, when you talk about great guys on the mic, it's usually week in and week out, they come up with something fresh and they change their style and they're just incredible with whatever they say. He did the same entrance every time.
It worked for him.
But it was an entrance that 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people in packed arenas couldn't get enough of.
Made a lot of money.
Yeah, and wanted to, you know, sing along, talk along, shout along, scream along with everything that he said.
He sold a lot of T-shirts in the day, a lot of T-shirts. So
match ends with Billy Gunn hitting a famouser.
Looking good, Billy.
Billy was looking good.
Mr. Ass.
You like his ass.
He likes the ass in the package.
Josh is an ass man. Dun, dun, dun. Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler reminding us that people on Twitter are saying that they look like ketchup and mustard tonight.
They didn't have Twitter.
Have we moved on?
Wrestling.
Wait, are you moving on? Because I'm not done with.
Oh, he's not done with the Outlaws. I was done. Wait,
No. I am not done with this at all because I think we need to bring up a few things on this. First of all, I would love to see the New Age Outlaws back full time.
Okay.
Which I think is great. B, if you don't make that happen, you just buried a team. And
they've already been buried.
I know, but they lost to a team that doesn't wrestle. So
they've been buried so deep for the last so long.
But you still don't do that. But I think those guys should come back. I would love to see the New Age Outlaws back. I mean, I'm not saying they have to go on a full-time schedule, but I'd like to see them back on Raws on a semi-regular basis, at least for a while. And I think they could really help bring the tag division back.
For sure.
And that's what Clum says.
Yes.
That's all he's got to say about that.
Yeah.
Touts from excited fans.
No touts either in the 80s.
They can't let it go. They cannot let it go.
They had, what was it?
Obsession.
Friday
Josh,
social media SmackDown?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Lord have mercy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Josh, did you tout one in? Did you tout a little?
Nah. I was watching.
I want to know what your opinion was. I mean, I would have liked to see. Imagine if we could have seen Josh on Raw, like with his touts, his touted opinions.
They did do a big thing on SmackDown. It was another one of those polls.
They may see your looks and actually pull your clip, Josh. You're good for TV.
No.
They did one of those polls on SmackDown on who do you want to face. I think it was a title match. I forget what it was for. And it was Dolph Ziggler and a couple other guys. And Ziggler won big time. So Ziggler, the fans are behind him. He won like a 60% poll.
Yeah, right.
On SmackDown this weekend.
How can they
I was like, why did you just bring up Ziggler in a poll? I'm like, what are you even talking about?
No, this is we're talking about SmackDown.
Gotcha.
You were talking about the SMS thing. He just won like a big SMS poll.
SMS, baby.
Yeah.
Happy 90th birthday to Mae Young.
Yes.
Gene making the intro. Mae Young coming out to the ring.
Trained my trainer.
Trained
It's actually
his trainer.
March 12th. It's her actual birthday.
But we're doing a celebration here on Old School.
Why not?
My original trainer.
Saw Mark Henry, his former lover of Mae Young.
They cut. What's wrong with the
Went to
director
go give
back
him a
there,
hug.
man? They
Give
cut
her a
away from
hug.
it. Yeah, he gave her a hug. That was nice. They have a big history.
He's a lovable guy, as we
Was
said.
Bo Dallas behind them?
Yeah, Bo Dallas was
Okay.
in the
He was
mix
like
in
a-
there.
Who gave me a hug?
No, Mark Henry went and gave Mae Young a hug.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I missed
Sexual
that.
chocolate.
But they had sexual
boy.
chocolate, man.
Sexual- oh, yeah.
I mean, he impregnated her.
I know. They had a baby
What's
hand.
up, baby?
They had a kid together, and you know,
And
Mark
the kid came back on 1,000 editions
Yeah,
of
Mark
Raw.
Henry is obviously neglecting his child because we haven't seen him with the kid.
Need some child support.
Yeah, seriously.
As this was going on, CM Punk, the creep that he is, interrupts the party so he can make his way to the ring for the fatal four-way match.
I love how he just walked through the crowd. He's like, screw y'all. And then he yells at a fan, a female fan, what are you going to do about it, woman? Love it.
He's awesome.
Match
I don't know
is
how many
interesting.
times we can say that.
Fatal
but he's
four-way
awesome.
matchup. Action underway right from the get-go. All four men in the ring at any time. First person to score a pinfall gets the win and gets to go take on The Undertaker at WrestleMania. CM Punk was pretty interesting in this match because he had a distinct strategy and style where he essentially tried to steal wins. Every time a guy hit a big move, he'd come in the ring, go for the cover, and then immediately, if he couldn't get the win, slide himself, crawl himself, get himself out of the ring. He tried to steal some wins from Orton, tried to steal some wins from Sheamus. It was pretty cool.
He's always on. His promos are always great. His psychology is always really great in his matches. He's smart.
And
great stories.
The crowd was just dead this whole time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Somebody wrote that too. Somebody wrote that on
I actually
Twitter
thought they were pretty hot for that first hour and a half of the show, and they definitely had died by this point.
They had I feel like everyone had posters tonight, and then all of a sudden, the last hour, it was.
You saw the arms were down, people were in the seats, weren't chanting as much. It was pretty quiet.
The second hour slowed down for me, and I'll tell you where the show slowed down for me was Cena. I mean, there were some other cool things afterwards, but that slowed the momentum of the show for me. Ms. Ziggler was great. Once Rock came out, the show died to me.
Orton hit a beautiful top rope DDT on the Big Show. It was pretty cool. Big Show hits Punk with the KO punch, sends him to the outside. I don't know really why he threw him to the outside on that. You know, that was kind of thing. Wasn't Punk trying to crawl out and then they pulled him back in?
Yeah,
and then
it was weird.
And then him and Sheamus threw him out, and then Big Show and Sheamus continued to fight. You know,
maybe it hurt to throw him out.
Continuing their longtime feud that they've had for the past however bit. Sheamus calls for a brogue kick. Orton ends up hitting a power slam. There's a kick out instead.
You like that power slam?
I love the power slam, man. There's just such a snap and ferocity to it that it's just, to me, incredible to watch.
Yeah,
it's poetry in motion. It's beauty.
He almost gets into that, you've just done a kip up stage where he's almost, his knees are bent and he really gets that arch going, and that's not an easy position to do. That's not an easy move to actually hit.
No, sir, and
I have trouble with that.
Pointed out when he misses or a guy counters it and he still throws the snap over. It's just so cool that it's not like, oh, it didn't work. Like, oh no, he's stuck in motion. You can't stop it once it starts. Sick. Big Show blocks a brogue kick, hits a choke slam, boom, kick out. Brogue kick on Big Show, RKO on Sheamus, GTS on Randy Orton. CM Punk gets the win and gets the opportunity to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29 with the streak on the line. 20-0 right now. Will it be 21-0 or will it be 20-1? Gong. Undertaker makes his presence right there.
Do you think the streak will ever end?
I don't think they'll end it. I think it's worth having him retire with a win.
I agree.
It doesn't hurt anyone to lose to The Undertaker at this point. Especially,
I agree.
It all comes down to the quality of the match. As long as it's a kind of match where you put everything on your line and give it everything you have and give more than you have to try and defeat The Undertaker with a valiant effort, you'll get respect at that point, and it's not about winning and losing. It's just about the quality of the match.
Yeah, and I think the problem is if you try to figure out the perfect person to beat him, the streaks almost become too big where, I mean, unless you get it perfect, you're going to screw it up. And I don't know how you cannot screw that up, someone beating him on that. You know, it would almost become like if you watch football, the Patriots were having that undefeated season, made it to the Super Bowl. They were 18-0. You were going to have this epic season if they had won it that no one would ever forget. They lost. Now they're just a team that lost the Super Bowl 18-1 as opposed to 19-0, and it's now an asterisk in history instead of one of the most amazing things that could have ever happened. So I think that could almost kill the entire history of the streak by ending it the incorrect way.
The streak is safe, and they picked the right guy to face him. You know, he's been out of action for so long. He's had those surgeries. Punk will take care of him.
That's true.
You know, it's going to be really good.
What's cool and interesting to me and somewhat exciting is tonight's episode was really the first episode that set the groundwork for where WrestleMania is going. We've had so many questions of of where this talent on the roster is going to end up, what kind of matches we're going to see, and we do get the definitive emergence now of Punk and Taker, or I should say Undertaker. It's like championship belt. Vince doesn't like hearing Taker. It's the Undertaker. We get Triple H and we get and Brock Lesnar. We got Rock and Cena. It looks like we're setting up this Shield feud with the three other big guys. Potentially, some stuff going on with Mark Henry or Ryback. I mean, there's enough being answered, and there's enough new questions still that we need answers for.
And we were hearing leading up to this week that this was going to be a throwaway show. Right. That they weren't going to have anything leading up to Mania. It was just going to be this old school thing, which I was like, oh, I mean, that's kind of a wasted opportunity. Right. And they didn't do that. And the show really tonight was about The Undertaker, and it was about The Undertaker. Started the show with The Undertaker, ended the show with The Undertaker.
Absolutely.
And it was all about what is going to happen with him.
And pre-show hype was all about The Undertaker with WWE app, using that with the hype and the return.
With a little of the Triple H stuff and thrown in, but I think it was smart to dedicate a show to the return of The Undertaker.
A solid episode of Raw tonight. I thought we were going to get an amazing episode of Raw. We started with such momentum for that first hour and a half, and then it kind of dragged down a little bit, making it average in the end. I'd still give it a 7-8 rating for myself, in my opinion.
7.5. Yeah, 7.5, 8.
Ladies?
I would give it an 8. I like the old school.
Yeah.
I thought it was lacking.
8 because of
They could have done so much.
Oh, that would have been perfect. And as we, it would have been nice to see if they had kind of evolved the show through
Just
the
looking at your hair right now, you could have pulled off Balboski today also.
Oh, I could have done that, yeah. I would have to shave, though.
Sitting there in a towel, you could have walked on over to the couch.
No chance!
Wait, what's going on? Oh, my God.
Uh-oh, is the boss here?
Oh man, we got the chairman of AfterBuzz TV apparently.
Smiley, I'll give you this.
Phil McMahon.
You do a great Raw show. We added SmackDown after a long while. But you know what we haven't done, Smiley?
What haven't you done, Mr. McMahon?
WWE main event here on AfterBuzz TV.
So you're telling me that you're planning on doing WWE's main event here on AfterBuzz TV on Wednesday nights?
On Thursday nights. But yes.
That's a pretty big announcement. I mean, that's a blockbuster announcement, and the fans are hearing it first live. They're going to hear it tomorrow in the archives.
But you know what I'm mad about?
What are you mad about?
No girls on the panel yet.
No girls on the panel.
Who's your host?
We got 2 hosts. You guys may remember Christian.
Christian Rosenberg, the voice of choice.
The voice of choice. But no girl.
No girl.
And who do you
get me a girl?
We always need a girl. You need a little sex appeal to make the show sexy.
You're stealing all the girls.
I'm stealing all the girls.
We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do to help you out with that.
There's 2 girls sitting on this couch. Maybe there's an option right there.
What about our old host, our friend Katie Lee? Have you reached out to her?
She does Being Human here at AfterBuzz TV.
She's also a pretty well-known pro wrestler. So
what about the sensational, scary one over here as a potential for something like that?
She's looking to find her own. I think we could develop something there.
What do you think about that, Scary Sherry? The opportunity for you to take over a new wrestling show on AfterBuzz TV.
We got a newbie at AfterBuzz. Check it out. Thursday, 6 p.m.
Starting this week.
Pacific time.
Starting this week.
We're on fire right from the get-go. We're buzzing tonight. The mood, the intensity has changed. The adrenaline has raised, reaching peak levels. I'm excited about this.
It's good. It's one of the best shows.
Main event is dope. It's a fresh show.
Amazing.
Someone in the chat room, the sloth said, "No girls equals no ratings."
Oh.
So
gotta have.
I mean, I beg to differ.
You guys had pretty good ratings.
What's life without no girls, though?
I mean, it's a terrible life.
There you go.
Man, a lot of our fans, I think, aspire to become professional wrestlers one day. A lot of them don't, and they just love watching it. But a lot of them do aspire to be pro wrestlers. I actually wrote an ebook recently, GQ Money's Quick 10 for 5. Only $5. I give you 10 huge tips that can help you take your career to the next level. Next being NXT level, because I've kind of been around these trainers and scouts a lot since August last year, and I've been able to observe as a fly on the wall, pick up and absorb some information of what these WWE scouts and trainers are looking for and how you can make an impact with them to get your foot in the door and hopefully get an opportunity for whether it be a tryout or from that tryout even get an opportunity to be offered a developmental contract. You can check out that ebook at www.makemeaprowrestler.com, and I encourage you all to check it out. $5 for a little fun knowledge that can help you not just in pro wrestling but really in all aspects of life if you apply these tips to just making a presence and making your name for yourself, hard work, dedication, perseverance, and just living that dream.
It's great knowledge. Awesome. I have read the book, and everything in there is right on point.
And speaking of aspiring superstars, there's a match going around the internet right now that was like, I'd call it like 4 or 5-star quality match featuring 2 young up-and-comers in this world of pro wrestling who I think, you know, I got to preface and say, kids, don't try this at home or anywhere. Awesome. But at the same time, these people that we're going to watch, if we bring up this video, are trained professionals w'ho've dedicated their complete life. And we're going to toss to it live right here
at TCW Toddler Championship Wrestling, where Ron Mina in the jean shorts is taking on Steve Orton, and action is already underway. Irish whip by Orton sends Mina into the corner. Pulls him out the hard way, sending his back crashing hard onto that carpeted floor. Orton having enough room in the corner, and he's bringing the boots, putting the boots and stomping a mud hole. Ron Mina leaving him out there to
I mean, these kids are going crazy. I mean, the skill level at such a young age, it's impressive.
Actually really good.
Selling it better than Cena.
Wow, look at you taking a shot right there.
Wow. But no,
but it's not John Cena, it's Ron Mina in the ring right here.
Even better.
This kid's got momentum.
Taking on Steve Orton in the Toddler Championship Wrestling Federation. These kids are going to be famous soon. I think this is going to be a viral sensation.
Center of the ring.
They're like Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio size.
We can't see him.
And you're hoping this version becomes the viral version. Is what it is. You're trying to jump in on these guys' fame. Cheeky money. He's like the ambulance chaser of the sports entertainment.
Hot clip. Let me help you with that clip. I'll help you take it to the next level.
This one's got to be over.
It's got to be over.
It's got to be it. I don't know how this kid can take so much punishment.
He hit the attitude adjuster in the middle of the living room, man.
And then didn't even go for a pin. Just goes for...
These kids are taking crazy bumps.
It is pretty funny.
The shoulder tackles blew my mind originally.
The Bulldog is great. The Bulldog's the best.
The crisscross off the rope. Perfect timing on the hook.
Beautiful. And the attitude
right there.
Yeah, the flip. Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. And they're like, pacing's good, their timing's good.
I've been watching adults try to learn to wrestle, and they have such a hard time adapting to the bumps. And these kids are bumping not even on a ring, on a concrete floor with like an inch of carpet padding. Wait, this is it.
A kick out. I can't believe
it. No, a kick out.
No. Fortitude of
the only pin of the entire match, other than the...
There were a few attempts.
No, there's one.
I thought there were a couple.
No, there's only one. If I remember correctly, I think there's one.
Can he get him? Will he get him? Yes, he's got him up.
I actually broke this down and critiqued it.
You did it. Me and Cathy were looking at you like, are you crazy, man? Are you critiquing these little kids?
I did, but I mean, I was like, they're good enough to critique them.
The SDS hooked in. It's locked. Will he tap? Will he cling? It's in. He tapped. I gotta say,
they were working the incorrect arm, but
that's all right, man. Just start. Look at this guy critiquing him.
No, they're
dead
awesome
too at the very end of the clip.
But also,
he's like lying there.
I'm only critiquing them because they're good enough to be critiqued. I mean, usually you would just be like, don't even play that. Those kids were very impressive.
Great episode of Monday Night Raw. I got to tell you, I had a blast with you guys today. I got to say, it was a great episode of Buzzin' After Raw. Ryan Cactus Foley Clum, what you got going on over these next weeks or so?
Ooh, I've got going on this coming weekend. I've got Alpha Omega Wrestling up at Indio High School. I believe doors open 3 p.m., bell time 4 p.m. Yeah, that's this Sunday. And then the following weekend, I will actually be making a return to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Championship Wrestling from
I will be there
Hollywood.
the 17th, and I will be there with you, I believe.
You may see a little bit of the Voodoo Apocalypse, Rixel Flix and the Voodoo King Chaos. Oh, you're not Showtime anymore. Female Demo, the model. The model, what's going on in your life, baby?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you want to find me on Twitter at Showtime Josh. That's right, Showtime Josh. And you want me to ask these guys any questions about the wrestling industry, just hit me up there, Showtime Josh.
Yeah, and me at Culminator.
The way you just said that, it's as if you just said that with a ton of arrogance.
Oh.
Yes. Kaori Takee. Obviously, white on rice, the other half, the rice to his white. What else you got going on, and what's the Twitter?
You can follow me at Kaori, it's K-O-R-I-O-U-S, and I do an after show with Cathy here once upon a time, Arrow, and...
Was that like a buddy nudge, or was that like the start of a little
That's
fight?
Elizabeth right there, man. They don't get along.
I mean, it's Sherry and Elizabeth. They were fighting over, Macho Man, so you never know. Sherry stole Elizabeth's man.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Cupcake, Fatal Attraction,
She's
Miss
not Cupcake
Elizabeth.
anymore.
I know, but she made cupcakes.
Yeah, but why does she get to keep her nickname?
She's not keeping it. I went to Fatal
He was
Attraction.
referencing the cupcake
I
from
know.
the
Absolutely. Thank you for defending me. What's going on with you?
April 4th, I will be on the podcast Schmo's Knows.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's a friend of ours.
That is our friend.
I know
Ken
that's
Knapsack.
your friend.
Maria
He actually-
Menounos was actually just on last week, and they're doing major hits on YouTube right
and we
now.
got a really good plug on that.
50,000 or something like that.
Yeah, Ken plugged Buzzin' After Raw, so we got
Ken's
a good
great.
plug.
Ken's a
Yeah.
great
I
guy.
used to host an old podcast with him and Johnny LaQuasta. We did the
Yeah.
Off the Ropes podcast for a little while together.
So.
Good
Another
guys.
talented guy, Johnny LaQuasta.
Good guys.
So I will be on their podcast talking about movie snacks. And if you want to talk to me in the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at Cathy Kelley.
Awesome. You can follow me on Twitter at IamSmiley. You can check out my website, www.iamsmiley.com, Facebook's I Am Smiley, and then go to www.makemeaprowrestler.com where you can pick up GQ Money's Top 10 for 5. And we're going to close it off with one of the greatest WWE entrance songs of all time. May he rest in peace. This has been Buzzin' After Raw, the Raw After Show recap on AfterBuzz TV, brought to you by Bing, where Bing is for doing. We'll be back next week doing another After Show recap because this broadcast was perfect.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. And Martin, next time don't cut my intro music early.
Yes.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.